Hello and welcome. My name is Christopher Keenan. I'm a specialist in below-line digital and conventional marketing. And today I'd like to talk to you about the magic of marketing. At least from my point of view, marketing is one of those few disciplines that requires both creative and logical thinking in equal measures. Perhaps strangely enough, it is often the logical tasks involved in marketing that can trigger some of the most creative processes. For example, understanding the meaning and the value of a product requires a measure of logical reasoning. Yet describing a product in a fashion that makes people desire it requires a more creative approach. For instance, my online bio displays a marketing plan for a computer recycling service. Recycling IT is nicknamed urban mining because it reclaims precious metals like gold and silver from old motherboards and circuit boards. The problem with promoting a recycling service as urban mining is everyone starts to think of their old phones and computers as stuffed with gold and worth a fortune. Yet in reality, if a recycler is even given 1,000 old computers for free, it's still hard to cover the processing costs. A more creative marketing solution is not to focus the attention on the worth of old IT hardware, but instead to focus on what happens if the customer chooses not to recycle. For example, in some places it's illegal to dispose of electronic waste in landfills. The punishment for failing to dispose of old computers correctly can be hefty fines and even imprisonment. So with that fact in mind, it's possible to promote computer recycling as a service that keeps you out of jail. But on a more positive note, you could come at it from a point of view of some environmental impacts. So, for example, computer recycling reduces pollution, and ultimately that helps save us from climate change and environmental damage. Therefore, describing the service as planet-saving isn't too much of a stretch. However, getting an IT director with hundreds of old computers inspired enough to want to save the planet, well, that, yet again, requires a good measure of creativity. Okay, that's how creativity works in defining products or services, but let's go one step further and look at setting the mission objectives in a marketing plan. Setting objectives sounds mundanely boring, and one might say it's an exercise in logic, but that's far from the case. I mean, just think about it. You're trying to imagine a successful future. Objectives are describing a vision of what you'd like to see happen. A vision of the future might be introducing your brand to 1 million people. You might want to make 1 billion in sales. You may even wish to change public opinion or get someone elected into office. Whatever the mission objectives might be, you have to first make a case that supports the potential of a successful outcome. And this requires creative thinking in imagination, for example, imagining a future and how to remove any barriers that might block you from achieving your ambition. All right, let's change gear quickly and focus on everyday marketing tasks like identifying promotional channels. You might think this is just a case of logically choosing a media outlet that fits your customer profile. However, with a little creativity in the mix, your thinking might change. For example, if Google is your main channel, you'd probably be considering choosing Google Ads and investing into a website with good SEO. So why spend money elsewhere? Well, if you want to own the first ad, the best organic positions, knowledge panel sections and Google carousel results, you have to show Google that your content is king. One of the ways of doing that is to drive up activity and reduce the bounce rate on your website. That means driving in traffic from other channels and even other features in Google, such as events or YouTube, which is also owned by Google. In terms of reducing bounce rates, you can also boil that down to creating good engagement tactics and marketing collateral. From my point of view, the development of tactics, marketing materials and assets is the single most creative process. From videos to posts, ads to editorials, brochures to posters, articles to newsletters, promotions to offers, customer loyalty programs and social media and CMS marketing. All these things require a marketeer to gleam with logic and ultimately glow with creativity. Before this gets too sparkly, however, let's draw a line under that and let's look at marketing from a deployment, testing, analysis and reporting perspective. These seemingly tedious tasks are usually performed by a marketing manager. And there are some that say the marketing manager has the most boring job within the discipline, and perhaps the least creative. Some even go as far to say, or at least suggest, that analysing things like ROI, or return on investment, A/B testing, results, and of course digital engagement, is more akin to accountancy than marketing. Yet in reality, this work calls for a form of creative thinking that defies formulas and blows the mind of lesser mortals. So to conclude, logic makes marketing a structured discipline, but it's creativity and creative thinking that puts a sound measure of passion behind every type of campaign. In my opinion, being creative is something that helps every marketing manager to look beyond the facts and the figures and try and understand what to do next or what's going on in a way that's more fruitful than just simply following a formula. Right, now that's it from me. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more examples of my marketing work, just take a look at the marketing webpage, and thank you for watching.